It's been 100 years since Australia's most famous explorer, Sir Douglas Mawson, set out to learn about Antarctica. Now, a century on, modern-day scientists are continuing that research, but this time it'll be a very different $1.5 million expedition. When you think science, you probably don't picture this, but this is training for icy Antarctica. This isn't just any car. These researchers are learning to drive this all-terrain vehicle, which can also float if the sea ice collapses under them. The team of 85 plans to cover 10,000 k's in Antarctica, so everyone needs to prepare for some serious extremes. The research is very important. Antarctica is a huge place, which can impact on the world's oceans, wind and weather, especially in Australia. But we need to find out more about the impacts of climate change.
There's so much out there, but we just don't understand. And you can only do so much with computer models. You can only do so much with satellites. You have to get on the ground. We have to drop floats into the ocean. We have to drill through the ice. We have to collect samples, drill the trees in the sub-Antarctic islands, see how the actual ecology is responding to changes, and then pull it all together.
They'll use drones and super fancy submersibles. But this high-tech, high-cost trip is only happening because of Douglas Mawson's brave and very different expedition 100 years ago.
Those guys were man-hauling, dragging those things across the landscape, and nowadays they drag them behind a skidoo. It's a lot easier.
Mawson's team recorded hundreds of thousands of meteorological measurements, even when they were on the verge of death. Now, the information they recorded is vital to tracking global warming.
I just had not appreciated just how much data there was. I just thought it would be a few little reports. The Mawson books, it's that length, it's a bookcase worth. It's just remarkable how much information they generated. And so to have this precious archive of detailed, rigorously observations from this extreme environment, which we can now compare to 100 years later, is remarkably precious. Hopefully we'll be able to
The aim of this trip, with a huge crew of marine biologists, meteorologists and ice core specialists, is to repeat Mawson's measurements from 100 years ago and compare the results to see how much Antarctica has changed. From looking at the century-old data, the researchers have already found that leopard seals seem to have shrunk in size by about 10%.
Is that diet? Is that environment? Changes in ocean circulation have affected the diet? It's just one of those, another great question.
The seals are just one part of the huge project though. The team will be analysing a lot of fascinating new info. They're hoping their expedition will inspire a new generation of scientists by showing young people that science isn't just in a lab, that it's all around us, it can be spectacular, and it can change the world we live in.
It's far more exciting to go out and climb hills and hit things with hammers than it is to sit in front of a computer all day.
One of the great appeals of an expedition like this is that we get to do some oceanographic science out in the real world, because our day-to-day jobs are using numerical models.
It's certainly going to be an amazing adventure and experience for the scientists going on the expedition, and no doubt the information they collect will help us now and into the future.